The dog days of summer came on quickly this year. They were scorching and withered, making it tough to do much of anything, but all things considered, there's been a lot of memorable moments along the way.
Yeah! Yes.
Wish that I could stay. Wish for this moment to never go away. But it's all in my mind. And though I know that there is nothing to find, you're a beautiful sight in the summer night.
I love rides up to the cabin with the windows down. Our conversation always consists of some collaborative daydreaming about the months ahead, and then switching gears to the here and now to go over the workload for that particular day. We do want to finish the interior before this upcoming fall. And next on our list was the staircase. There's radiant floor heat beneath all the paper and boards, and to avoid damaging them when we'd screw the staircase and parts of the kitchen into the floor, we traced some lines as a first step. This helped us visualize feasible placement options and was a preventative measure for protecting the system. Kyle and I did entertain a few ideas about what the stairs would look like, and ultimately he chose to use a beam from his friend Jack's old house that had been torn down.
It goes down here. So this one is perfect for veneering. This is kind of why I wanted to get the modular one, because we would just have it and like.
Which could just be where
Once the preliminary cuts on the edges were made, we tested it in place to see if it was correct before proceeding, and we loved it right away.
Wow.
It's perfect.
Wait,
And then the other beam is going to be fascia. Like this will be one beam going across with the beam coming down out of it. You know, we'll cut it in half and it'll be fascia.
Oh, it'll just be, just for looks.
Yeah, but it'll look so cool. Man,
interesting.
it's perfect. It's exactly what I pictured. And then, it will be steeper, but with the railing, it'll be fine. And it's just gonna look so cool. Determine that, because what we don't want is for it to like go up at a slight angle. That compromises the strength.
I helped Kyle in any way I could, but he pretty much tackled it solo with determining the precise angles and maneuvering the chainsaw to form the base of the treads.
Alright, so this is our wobbly one, so I'm going to put a brace up here. Ooh, can you hold that?
After becoming so accustomed to climbing up a wobbly ladder to get to the loft, it felt so surreal to walk up and down the stairs. And though it was far from complete, we could really envision more of the finalized space now. The next day we took the van, which is also nearly complete at this point, and met up with our friends Kaylee and Noah to spend some time in Vermont while they were back in New England.
Van fires right up. We got a full tank of gas. We are off, baby.
Pretty crazy. What? The water's crystal clear too. It's so deep here. Wow. Water's so good.
Somewhere along a river in the Green Mountains, we pulled off, set up camp, and shared a fireside taco dinner.
Okay, who wants a beer? One. Noah?
Everyone.
Yes?
Safe to say everyone.
The planks?
Should I make more guac?
And we sleepily sat around the fire that night, just eating and watching the smoke gently rise and gazing up at the crystal clear night sky where the Milky Way was completely illuminated.
Oh man, it has been tough gardening at the cabin this season because this summer has been so drought-like, just really infrequent rain, and when it does rain, it's so sporadic and will start and stop quickly, so it's just been an ongoing battle. And on top of that, the seeds this year got started a little late, and in the apartment it was tough figuring out how to get them the sufficient amounts of light and heat. So given all of the circumstances, things have been a little stunted and it's getting late into the season, but we are getting some fruits and vegetables and can harvest a few things here and there. I'm actually going to be doing one of my favorite herb harvests today, gathering some rosemary, lavender, and sage to make fragrant smoke bundles. There's also a couple peppers that are ready to be picked to encourage some more growth on the plant. I've got a couple different leafy greens that I can pick from, and my radishes are ready to be taken up, and I'll probably pickle those. Everything looks pretty good and ready to be harvested. The reason I soaked the soil a bit was to make it easier to pull the radishes out, but also so I can stir up the soil when I'm done harvesting these and put in another round of radish seeds and the carrots. The heat today is incredible. Oh, I'm going to have to hand water everything today, take a few trips down to the river, and just be really careful not to get the leaves wet in the sun because I cannot stay here all day today. but I'm also going to load up my watering can because some of the seedlings around the garden are a bit more delicate and I can't just dump the water bucket on them. But yes, everything will get some water today. It is our first year with the garden at the cabin, and definitely will be expanding as time progresses, but it has really been a fun journey this year. I mean, getting to start things from seeds and getting to this point and knowing we still have a couple months left in the season, it's just been such a rush and a learning experience. And though, like I said, it has come with its ups and downs, overall there's just nothing like it, and I feel so grateful to be able to do this in such a beautiful place. It feels amazing in here after working in the sun for so long. It always stays so cold. Woo. You can definitely smell each herb in here individually. I'm very excited to use them when they finish up drying. I'm going to hang them above my desk space. I have a corkboard that has pretty much transformed into just a drying wall here at the apartment. I'm really happy with how these turned out so far, and the little pops of color from the lavender make it so beautiful. I think we will end up using these peppers in different dishes and salads, just using them fresh this week. But for the radishes, I do want to pickle them, but I don't have any pickling salt on hand, and I could not find any at any of the local shops either, which was strange. So I'm going to order in some. And in the meantime, to keep them fresh, I popped them in some water and will store them in the fridge so they will keep pretty fresh and crunchy right up until I get that salt in. But yeah, I love watching these dry and having different herbs and flowers surround me at my workspace. So even when I'm inside, it's like I have little bits of nature around me still. These are so tiny, but the harvest size I had was minuscule. Half of my radishes ended up focusing on growing these big thick leaves, and the other half started developing the radish. I may have grabbed some a little early, but also the drought we've been having I think really stunted their growth overall. I did want to separate them into 2 jars just because I think we'll probably enjoy them over 2 servings, or maybe I'll have one and Kyle will have the other. These are the smallest containers I could find that I could make airtight. So yes, there is a lot of brine left over in them and they look a little ridiculous, but I'm sure they'll taste fine, and can't always do everything perfectly. But I'm very excited to keep pickling throughout the season as things really do start to produce, and nailing down different brine recipes and trying different things out. This is my friend Rachel. We're picking blueberries locally right now because the cabin has been suffering from a severe drought, and I guess this area has been too, but they probably have better ways to water their crops. But yeah, all the blueberries at the cabin, 1, are not blue, and 2, most of them are very shrunken. I'm gonna end up eating all of these before we leave.
Me too.
Like, just put
I was just
a big
thinking
dent
about
in it. No one else is here.
No, that one lady pulled in.
I thought she was gonna come up and talk to you. I thought she was walking right up to you, yeah.
Right.
We've been here for so long.
On the hottest day of the year.
Yeah. How hot do you think it is right now?
Probably 95.
95.
Yeah.
When we first got here,
Feels like 97.
we were picking in the sun, but this is such an expansive field that there's a ton of it in the shade we didn't even know about. We've never
should've
been
walked
here
around.
before. Yeah.
Before we gave ourselves huge drugs.
Really, it's just us eating blueberries. This week I got to go peek in on some of what Kyle had done to the cabin while I wasn't there. He added treads to the stairs, got the off-grid electric to work, and built our bed frame. Each step at this point really makes the space feel more like home. Oftentimes, when I get an idea about a new product or want to do a little crafting, I reach out to my lifelong friend Gabby. She's so creative and free-flowing and always up for a good DIY day. This week we made a reparative and strengthening oil for the nails and cuticles, and it'll be live in my shop today. It's made with moringa, castor, jojoba, apricot, sweet almond, vitamin E, myrrh, clove, and rosemary oils, and it feels so velvety and nourishing. That's so small. I know. I was like, when I did it, I was like, oh, okay, wait, the second one was good. Alright, at least it's only... I found that the more often I've been preparing orders and getting certain oils on my hands, my nails are getting a lot stronger and longer. I have to keep them sort of short for the cabin work, but in just a couple of weeks, they grew the longest they had ever been. People often say that time is fleeting, and it can be. Lately, I'll pause and wonder how the heck it is the later half of this season, but I find that the key to somewhat defying that perpetual haste is to deeply cherish each moment as it comes, and in having a genuine, intentional presence and mindfulness, you can kind of warp your perception of time and slow things down a bit. I mean, besides being fully immersed in what's happening in front of you, you can then look back on your memories with more ease and recall the little details and how things progressed.
This practice definitely helps me answer that annual question of where did the summer go? And then I feel as though I've actually done quite a bit more than I initially thought. And there's still a good chunk left, which we've decided to dedicate almost entirely to finishing the cabin. We're really going to do it. It's so close.